Okay, y'all, so I just showed you my video of Oracle decks. So now I'm going to go through my tarot decks. Again, if you have any decks you want me to flip through, comment. I will make a video flipping through that deck, showing you all the goods of that deck. There are quite a few decks that I own, so feel free. Some of them I don't actually use. Some of them were gifted to me. Some of them I use daily. They're like heavy hitters for me. If you've had readings with me, you'll recognize quite a few. So tarot cards are different than oracle cards because they follow a structure, like an archetype structure. Traditionally, you'll see them stem from the Rider-Waite-Smith system. And I'm actually going to talk about the Smith and Rider-Waite-Smith in a future video because it's extremely important. So you'll see this deck show here that I'm going to be holding up and sharing with you. We're not really going to go into like details of tarot and how to read and all those things. I mean, it can take years for people to kind of really pick up and learn. You're always going to learn something when you're learning tarot. There's just so much symbolism. It's tied to so many different things. And it's just, it's so many layers, so many ways you can look at tarot. So what I'll do here, I'll just start by kind of sharing the decks that I have. I'm going to start with the ones that I use the most, because I think at the end, I'll just use the ones that I don't really use or the ones that I'm not too familiar with. I'll show those at the end. So I'm going to start with this one. You probably see this one often. It's very trendy right now. It's the Lightseers Tarot by Chris Ann. It's got a very beachy yoga, kind of like California vibes. And this one is a go-to for a lot of current readers. So it's very similar to playing cards, you know, in regards to size. I love shuffling this one. And this is an example of what the deck actually looks like. So it's very well done. It's got just a totally different feel to it than the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith cards. And it's just really pretty. This one is probably my favorite deck of all time. This is an indie deck. It's called This Might Hurt. And it's just so well done. It's by Isabella Rotman. And Isabella did this deck so well. They sell out every time they print up orders. So this comes in a nice hard case. And I love the gold foil. Some of the decks have pearl edges. Some of them have different types of foil. I got a pearlescent one. The back is gorgeous. Okay. I love the symbolism in this deck because it's very inclusive. It's very updated. So I showed you the back, and this is an example of the front. This is the Lovers card in this deck. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So if you've had a reading from me, most likely this is probably the deck that I read from, this or the Lightseers. And then the book is actually really well done too. It's very thick. It's very thorough. Lots of different helpful interpretations of the cards. I strongly suggest this deck. I just think it's fantastic. It's also very inclusive of non-binary representation. So for my LGBT folks out there, or for readers that, you know, want to support their LGBT clients and be excellent allies, a deck like that is really good representation. I love this deck too. It is my Trip and Wait. If you follow one of my favorite readers, she's so fun, Big Empress Energy. This deck is like so commonly used by that reader. They have like a lot of YouTube videos and stuff, probably one of my faves. And this deck's fun. It's very psychedelic. It's a play on the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. So like, here's an example of the Hanged Man. Lots of kind of like 60s look to it, with the rainbow symbolism. You might see my dog in the background. He's enjoying his evening, sniffing around and hanging out and chewing things up like a good boy, right? Okay, this one got me through 2020 practically. You can see it's super beat up. I used it to essentially learn tarot. I started learning in 2019, 2018. And this deck I really dove into. I love Art Nouveau. That era just really speaks to me. I think maybe at some point I had a past life during that particular era. I went to Barcelona and I just like spent all my time walking around looking at the architecture. This is kind of one of those generic Rider-Waite-Smith decks. You can always tell because they have these like paper booklets in them. And really like the keywords are smaller. They're not really as in depth. And this is the back. It's very beautiful. And then here is an example of the actual deck. Again, gold foil. I love shiny things. That must be my Leo moon. But this is the Empress card in this deck. So it's a really well done deck. I like it. It was a good way for me to learn Rider-Waite-Smith. Okay. Just gonna put this away later because I can't fit it in with the bent up pages. Okay, so then we've got Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot. So this is basically the traditional Rider-Waite, but it's kind of like the colors were updated and it's a little bit more glowy, warmer colors to it. So this one is like very practical for people who are just diving in and learning tarot. This is the back. Okay, very pretty. And then here's an example of the actual cards. This one has all of the traditional symbolism in it that you would find in the original Rider-Waite-Smith decks because it's literally modeled off of that. And then again, you've got the booklet here. It's just a little paper booklet stapled together with your keywords and phrases and suits and things like that. All right. And then I've got this little fun one here. Okay, Beth the Wicca loves using this deck. And once I saw it, I had to have a copy because it's just so fun. And I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday, but well, besides Christmas, I absolutely love that season too. The lights are just so beautiful. This is the book. It's another one of those paper books that's stapled. But I really love how this deck was done because they kind of redefined the suits. So here's the back. Oh, sorry, showed you the wrong side. Here's the back. It's this cat and spider symbol. Okay, I think it's so cool. And then here are the fronts. So like, for example, pentacles, they're pumpkins, which I think is fantastic. So it's a really fun, colorful deck. It's just adorable. And it's a good one for the Halloween season. So if you want me to flip through any of these, just comment and I can make a separate video. So I do have one that I can't actually show you. It is an NC-17 deck. But I will tell you that it's pretty raunchy. There's a lot of nudity and stuff in it. And it's called the Decameron deck. And it's for adults only. So I can't actually show you this deck, but I will tell you that it is a lot. I had another one too, but I actually gifted that one to somebody else. It was another raunchy deck. But yeah, I mean, if you are doing like, I don't know, like maybe you're reading at a BDSM party or a swingers party or a bachelorette party or something like that, that might be a deck for it. Okay, here's another fun one. I think that's really well done. It's the Golden Girls Tarot. And you might think it's one of those cash grabs, but it's actually brilliantly done. So this one comes in a flip top and it's so like 80s Miami. This is the back. Okay. See the palm trees. And then you've got, this is the front. So, I mean, look at that, Blanche holding a piece of cheesecake. It's so cute. I did do a flip through of this on Instagram back when I got it. I want to to say it was like 2020. I was laughing so hard during that video though, because I just thought that the deck was so cute. Okay, so this one I love. It's like saucy and mysterious, and you know, it's beautiful, very witchy. It's called the Witch's Tarot. It's by Ellen Dugan. Hi, sweetheart. My puppy's visiting me. And then this one is like an actual book. Want to come up? Come on up. This is my puppy, Kai. He is my partner in crime. He hangs out and sleeps in his bed while I'm doing readings. And you might also hear him bark every once in a while when you're getting a reading from me. Okay, so we've got the Witch's Tarot. This is the book that comes with it. It's actually really well done. The book has the full illustration. It's got reversals in it and everything. So it's another one where, like, if you're learning, this is a good one because it has not just the keywords, but explanations and reversals. So this is what the deck looks like on the back. It's very cosmic, very kind of witchy with the triple moon symbol. And then this is the front. This one has a little bit of kind of like realism and kind of some CGI mixed in with the fantasy elements. And it's gorgeous. Some of the people in this deck were actually people that Ellen knew. Like she is, for example, she is the Nine of Pentacles. So that is the Witch's Tarot. I love that deck. Okay. Let's see, strategically stacking my decks. This one is beautiful too. It's another one with gorgeous representation. This is the Modern Witch Tarot. Comes in a box, kind of like a sleeve box. Whew, I'm winded from running. This one was gifted to me by Jana from Twin Moon Tarot. She sent it to me for a Valentine's Day gift, and it's so cute. So I love the representation in this one too. The book is actually hardcover. It's really well done. I'm telling you, these indie decks are so, the quality is amazing. Okay, so here's the back. Okay, so there's some gorgeous, it almost reminds me of the back on that Isabella Rotman deck. And then here's a front version of the King of Swords. Okay, so more modern looking, you know, I mean, we have different types of gender expression. We have some updated symbolism. It's more inclusive when it comes to including people of color. So you actually see brown people in here. It's not just white people and black people, which is great. Okay, so that's my Modern Witch Tarot. All right. Then I've got, here's another indie one. This is the 90s Tarot. Okay. This was another Kickstarter. And it comes in a box. This one is kind of fun how they did it. So it's very throwback 90s. It almost reminds me of like if you were opening up something from like Double Dare. But this is hilarious because the guidebook is on a piece of notebook paper, which I think is brilliant. It looks like a note you would take in class back in the day. Okay, so the back is just really basic 90s kind of design. And then this is what the front of the cards look like. So this is actually Kurt Cobain's Judgment. So you'll see like a lot of 90s icons in this deck. I would recommend this deck only for folks who are actually well read on 90s pop culture. The regular suit cards, the non-archetypal cards in that deck are pips. So if you know what a pip card is, it basically is like a very simple card. It doesn't have like a lot of symbolism. It just has the numbers and the symbol. So if you're looking for cards that have a lot more depth when it comes to the numbers, that's probably not going to be a deck for you. So I love this one too because Victorian era stuff is right up my alley. as well as I'm kind of like obsessed with specimens. So my husband even took me to the Field Museum in Chicago because they were having an exhibit on specimens, how to, you know, categorize, how to store them. You know, it smelled of formaldehyde. It was brilliant. It was really, really well done. So this is a nod to kind of that feel. It has different types of suits than normal. So they've replaced some with, here's the back of the cards. You've got elixirs, daggers, what are all the suits here? Elixirs, daggers, coins, and rods. One of the rods. So that would be a wand. So this is very much a nod to the Victorian era. The Victorians were really into symbolizing flora. And so you'll see a lot of that here. There was an obsession with death during that era. The book itself is really pretty. It's big and has a lot of information. It also has like little tips on how to take care of your deck too, and how to cleanse and how to store it, things like that. So I would say if you're into botany or the Victorian era in general, that'd be a fun deck for someone to have. Okay, so we're down to just a couple left here. Actually, no, I have a whole stack here I didn't see. Okay, I have a mini deck too. So if you travel and you don't have a lot of room in your suitcase, you can find these little mini decks on occasion. This is another version of Art Nouveau tarot. It's called Tarot Art Nouveau. So I showed you the back. This is an example of one of the cards here. It's a really beautiful deck, okay? So, you know, this is one that I would kind of throw in my bag if I was going to a park or something and just needed to kind of grab it so I can do a quick reading somewhere. Okay, we've also got the Art of Love tarot. The art in this deck is gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous. And there's so many layers to the art in this deck. So it comes with this big box, okay, to protect the deck. And then of course we've got our book, and it's another bigger book. This one has sections for each card. So it's got like keywords, the meanings, and the description. It's similar to kind of how the Witch's Tarot is laid out, except it doesn't have reversal information. And then when you get into the box here, this is what the back of the deck looks like, okay? Like a mandala symbol. And then here's an example of the front. So it's a really gorgeous deck. Page of Stars. I love the artwork in this deck. All right, I've got another one here called the Osha Zen Tarot. Okay, so this one I've never actually used. So this one is in, kind of pull the box out. And there's a book on the top. This is interesting because the book is actually long. It's like a horizontal orientation. And then you've got the cards in here. And this is what the back looks like. Okay, not really sure what direction it's supposed to go in. That's okay. And then here's what the cards actually look like. Intensity. This one almost seems like an oracle deck. Maybe I should have put it into my oracle video, because I left it for tarot because A, I hadn't used it yet, and B, it's called the Osho Zen Tarot. So I'm not really totally versed in this deck, so I might have gotten it wrong. If you know anything about this deck, go ahead and feel free to comment. Okay, we've got a couple more here. These were also gifted to me. They are popular. They're kind of like macabre decks that are really popular. I just want to make sure I have the right one here. Yeah, I think I do. Okay, so one of them is called Phantasmagoria. And it comes with this book that almost looks like a chapter book, right? It's very detailed. Like there's almost like a chapter for each section of suits and archetypes. So this is the back side of that deck. Okay. Very dark and mysterious. And then, ooh, wow, yeah, this is dark. This is the front side. Okay. So I'm assuming knives. The suit of knives is probably the suit of swords. This is kind of a goth deck. Okay. So for my gothies out there, this might be a deck for you. Here's another one. This is the steampunk deck. Now I'm not a steampunk person, but it looks like the same concept. Okay. It's like almost like a chapter book. It's so thick. Okay. And then the deck itself, I don't have the original packaging for it because it was gifted to me. But the deck itself, this is the back. Okay, lots of cogs and gears. And then this is the front. This is 8 of Pentacles. Okay. And then I've got Quantum Tarot here. Quantum Tarot comes in a box that you just pop the top off. The book is the same size as the deck. Okay, very wordy. All right, and then this is what the back of the cards look like. So it almost looks like plasma. Like sometimes when I see orbs look like this. Usually they're like blue or teal when I see them though. And then, interesting. Then this is what the front side looks like. Very cosmic looking. Okay. So folks who are into like quantum physics and things like relating to energy, this might be a deck for you. That's Quantum Tarot version 2.0. Okay, then I've got Tarot Draconis. This one looks very fantasy, very whimsical. Okay. I'm not really well versed in a lot of the fantasy fiction type stuff. So things about, like elves and dragons and stuff like that, I don't really know a ton about. Like I just went to the Ren Fair for the first time this year. So this is the back. And this is, oh wow, it's like all dragons. Okay, cool, beautiful. And then this is an example of the front of a card. That's 3 of Pentacles, it looks like. Okay, and so that's Tarot Draconis. Comes in a simple, it's got one of those paper guidebooks that's stapled. Okay. Pretty simple container for that one too, just like a normal plain card deck. Okay, and the last one is this reality check. I actually thought this was an oracle deck, but it is a tarot deck. So it comes in a hard case, and it looks like it has a Merkaba kind of psychedelic on the back. This one's actually really cool. It's almost like you're gazing. I'm sorry, I got this mixed up with another deck. This one is interesting because it gives you very specific information without the visuals. So it'll tell you like the concept of the card, the actual name of the card. So like this is Page of Swords. And then it gives you like keywords, okay? And if you flip it or pull it reversed, it gives you the reversal definition in keywords. Now, if you're not really into visuals, like when it comes to shapes and art, this might be good for you to learn. It might be kind of like flashcards for you. So these are the decks that I had to show you today. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed running through the collection that I have. Again, you know, I'm gifted decks all the time. There's nothing to worry about if you're gifted a deck or if you buy one secondhand. You simply cleanse it. I even cleanse my new decks that I purchase. And so, you know, if you've heard any myths around that or any concerns from people in the community, you can just go ahead and dispel those, because it's similar to receiving things that that you would use, you know, in everyday life. It's just basically something you would cleanse before you start using. So this is my deck collection at the moment. I believe I've gotten all the decks here. Yes, I think I do. I believe I've gotten them all out to show you. If you have any interest in seeing a deck more in depth, comment and I'll make a video, no problem. I'm happy to do it for you. And thanks again for joining. If you want to book a reading with me, I'm at psychicreadingsbybrandi.com. And my name, Brandi, is spelled with an I, B-R-A-N-D-I. So psychicreadingsbybrandi.com. Thanks again. Goodbye.